Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the emotional madhouse, the matrimonial main event, the Kabhi Alvida Naa Kehna grudge match. I'm your wildly impartial, deeply exhausted referee, and I am already reaching for the whistle because these two are collecting fouls like they're bonus points. Oh, and before the opening bell, the name is Amy, referee today here with you. Live folks, make your bets, get your popcorn, referee today. Bollywood fangirl always. Bollywood through my American eyes scanning this scene here. Kabhi Alvida Naa Kehna, back to work. No rest for the weary. Let's go. Opening bell, and we're off. Dev and Rhea are circling each other in the ring of resentment, and I can already tell this is not going to be a clean bout. The crowd is tense, the lights are hot, and somebody has forgotten the very idea of teamwork. Criticism, kitchen argument, foul. Dev does not merely complain about lateness, he goes for the global character attack, and that is a nasty one. You're a selfish wife and mother is not a play-by-play review of one missed moment. No, sir, that is a full-body takedown of Rhea's identity. This referee's verdict: Dev has mistaken a behavior issue for character assassination, and that is an immediate warning. Contempt, bedtime mockery, double foul. Oof, listen to that sneer. See it and see that eye roll, folks. That is contempt. Strutting into the arena, Supermom strikes again. It's not a joke. It is a smug elbow to the ribs. And contempt is the ugliest cheap shot in the book. This is the kind of move telling your opponent, I'm above you. And that is exactly how a marriage starts taking damage in slow motion. Defensiveness. Anniversary dinner, blame, counter. Rhea comes in hurt. Dev fires back with, you're impossible to please, and there it is. The classic dodge and return volley. Instead of owning his part in the mess, Dev shifts the spotlight, flips the blame board, and acts like the problem is her expectations rather than his responses. This referee here is slapping this mad defensive maneuver. No accountability, no clean exit. Stonewalling post-fight walkout. Shut down. Rhea pleads for conversation. Dev goes blank, turns away, and the emotional gate slams shut like a steel cage door. That is stonewalling. It is not dramatic silence. It is the nervous system throwing up the do not disturb sign when one partner is pleading and the other has left the emotional building. The match stops being a dialogue and becomes a freeze frame. Referees rolling. The official call. Dev is throwing the harder punches in the criticism and contempt, while both of them get dinged for defensiveness and stonewalling once the fight starts spiraling. This is not one bad argument. This is a repeated pattern of bad footwork, bad timing, and zero repair attempts. The relationship is not losing because nobody cares. It is losing because both are too busy defending themselves to defend the marriage. And that's the final whistle for this sequence, folks. Criticism in the kitchen, contempt at bedtime, defensiveness at dinner, and stonewalling on the walkout. A devastating 4-horse parade across the court. And this referee is left with one job only. Call the fouls exactly as they are. Based on what? Well, we talked about it. You remember, don't you? I had to get in more. Relationship researcher, again, John Gottman. I was curious. And he studied couples over time, as we said, to see which interaction patterns predicted relationship success, as we talked about, and now relationship trouble. He noticed that some communication moves showed up again and again when relationships were under serious strain. So instead of guessing who was right, he looked for patterns. The kind of patterns a good referee can spot before the whole match turns ugly. The 4 horsemen are criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. Think about them as 4 bad moves that do not just create one argument. They slowly poison the whole game. They matter because they are less about a single fight and more about the style of fighting, which tells you whether the relationship can still repair itself after conflict. And the 4 fouls. Criticism. Someone attacks the other person's character. Instead of addressing a specific action, you never. That's the play. And it usually turns, one problem into a full body takedown. Then there's contempt. The nastiest one on the board. This is mockery, sneering, eye-rolling, sarcasm, and acting superior. Telling the other person, I am above you. Dangerous sportsmanship violation. Defensiveness. Someone responds to a complaint by dodging responsibility and flipping the blame back. Sometimes it sounds like excuses, sometimes counterattacks, but the effect is the same. No one owns their part of the mess. Then there's stonewalling, as we talked about. Someone shuts down, withdraws, goes blank, or stops engaging. It often looks like silence, but it's usually overload. And once it kicks in, the conversation starts dying on the floor. What to watch out for, referees? Watch for words like always, never, whatever, and you're impossible. Watch for tone, too. Sneers, eye rolls, clipped answers, cold silence are often more important than the exact second sentence. The key question is not, did they argue? Because all couples argue. Everyone. Non-couples do. But the real question here in these romantic couplings we're studying and watching in the game as referees, Bollywood fans, the real question is, did they attack, belittle, defend, or disappear instead of repair? These horsemen tell you the relationship is probably operating in threat mode rather than team mode. The couple is not just disagreeing about a topic. They're starting to experience each other as the problem. Ooh. Once that happens, every small issue can become a bigger one because both people start bracing for the next hit. If these patterns keep showing up, what does the research say? What does the research say? And what does this referee say? If these patterns keep showing up, the future usually gets more predictable and more fragile, and the arguments become easier to trigger, repairs become rarer, and emotional trust keeps dropping. But if people catch the horsemen early and replace them with calmer, more respectful moves, the relationship can absolutely change course. With these two, though, we know who won, or rather, who lost in this hard-to-watch match with Dev and Rhea. It was brutal, folks. What a bloody match. Who's up next? Do you know?